the standard form of equation of the circle, we have quantity x minus h squared plus quantity y minus k squared equals r squared, where the center is presented as h comma k and r is the radius. It is more convenient to use because the center hk and the radius are presented in this form of equation. And another way of representing equation of the circle is through the general form of it. We have x squared plus y squared plus dx plus ey plus f is equal to 0. Okay, where h and k can be solved using negative d over 2 and negative e over 2 respectively, and we have also for the r squared, which is d squared minus e squared minus 4f all over 4. So sa pagkuha ng radius paggamit ng equation na ito, so we are going to use the square root property, square root natin both sides of the equation, and ang value ng radius natin from this kind of equation is square root natin yung d squared minus e squared minus 4f all over 4. Please be reminded that d, e, and f are constants. To understand more about this, let us have our first example. Change the equation x squared plus y squared plus 8x minus 6y equals 0 to standard form and determine the center and the radius of the circle. So there are two ways in changing this equation to standard form, and the first solution that we are going to use is through completing the square. So first, copy the given. Once you copied the given, combine the like terms. Pagsamahin lahat ang pare-parehas ng variable. So, pagsamahin natin ang parehas na merong x. So, we have x squared plus 8x. Okay, and then plus quantity y squared minus 6y is equal to 0. And through using the completing the square, we are going to add the negative b over 2a doon sa variable x and variable y, and ganun din sa right side. So, magkakaroon tayo ng quantity x squared plus 8x plus blank, okay, plus y squared minus 6y plus blank equals 0 plus blank plus blank. So, yung mga blank na ito, kung ano ilalagay natin dito sa left side, ganun din dito sa right side. So, para makuha natin yung mga numbers dito sa part na ito, kukunin natin yung value ng negative b over 2a squared. So, para sa variable x, ang b natin is 8. Okay, so we have negative, negative natin si b, which is yung 8. So we will have negative 8. Then 2 times, ang a natin is 1. And then squared. Okay, so we have negative 8 divided by 2 times 1 equals negative 4. And then kapag in-squared natin siya ay magiging positive 16. Okay? So, yung 16, ilalagay natin dito sa part na ito. Okay? Ito yung 16. And then, dito rin sa kabila. So, we have 16. And then, for the next last term ng variable y, gagamitin ulit natin ang negative b over 2a and then squared is equal to, ang value ng negative b natin para kay variable y, that is negative 6. So, negate natin si negative 6. Okay? All over 2 times 1 and then squared. And the negative times negative equals positive 6. 6 divided by 2 is equal to positive 3. And then squared, we will have 3 times 3 equals 9. So again, yung 9 ay ilalagay natin dito sa part na ito, sa blank, sa left side, and ganun din dito sa right side. Okay, so once na kumpleto natin yung ating perfect trinomials, pwede na natin siyang i-factor. Okay, kapag ito finactor natin, magiging x plus 4 squared plus quantity. Ito kapag finactor din natin ito, siya ay magiging y minus 3 squared is equal to 16 plus 9 plus 0 equals 25. And this time, itong equation natin ay naka-standard form. If it is in standard form, we can now able to find the center and the radius. So the center here, okay, the center of the circle is, if it is positive kay 4, so dito magiging negative 4. And then pagdating kay y, kay k, if it is negative, pagdating dito siya ay magiging positive. And for the radius, we have to equate r squared to 25. Okay, square root both sides of the equation, so r is equal to 5. Okay, therefore the radius is 5 units. Okay, so quantity x plus 4 squared plus quantity y minus 3 squared equals 25. The center is negative 4, 3, and the radius of 5 units are the final answers. So another way of solving for the center and the radius of the circle is through using the formula that I gave earlier. Okay, about we have h is equal to negative b over 2. Okay, ito yon. And k is equal to negative e over 2, and r squared is equal to negative d squared minus e squared minus 4f all over 4. So when we have again h is equal to negative d over 2, and k is equal to negative e over 2, and then we have the r squared is equal to d squared plus e squared minus 4f all over 4. So h natin dito is ito yung ang value ng d natin is yung 8, and then yung value ng e natin is yung negative 6. Okay, yung f natin dito is 0. So negative d over 2, we have negative h is equal to negative 8. Okay, 8 over 2. So h is equal to negative 4. Okay, and then we have k is equal to negative 6 over 2 is equal to negative times negative equals positive. So magiging positive 3. Okay? And then for the r squared, para makuha natin yung radius, we have d squared. Ang d natin is 8 squared plus negative 6 squared minus 4 times f. Ang f natin is 0 all over 4. So r squared is equal to 8 squared. We have 64 plus negative 6 times negative 6 equals positive 36 all over 4. Okay, so it is equal to 64 plus 36 equals 100 all over 4. So we have r squared, 100 divided by 4, that is 25. So again, to get the radius, equate 25 to r squared. So we have r squared is equal to 25. Then r is equal to a square root. Both sides of the equation, siya ngayon ay magiging 5. So, the standard form, okay, the standard form of the equation is quantity x, ano yung h natin? Negative 4. So, dito pagiging plus 4. And then, squared plus y minus, kasi positive yung k natin, y minus 3 squared is equal to, r squared is equal to 25. So, this is now the final answer. Example number 2. Change the equation x squared plus y squared minus 6x plus 4y plus 4 is equal to 0 to standard form and determine the center and the radius of the circle. So again, for our solution, we have to, so pwedeng solution 1 or solution 2 using the completing the square or the formula that I gave earlier. So, pwedeng gamitin natin yung formula which is h is equal to negative d over 2 and k is equal to negative e over 2 and then r squared is equal to d squared plus e squared minus 4f all over 4. Okay, so palitan natin ng ink. Okay, so from our given na x squared plus y squared minus 6x plus 4y plus 4, ang d natin dito is negative 6. Okay, and then e is equal to positive 4 and f is equal to positive 4 then. So, h is equal to negative 6 over 2. So, we have positive 6 over 2. 6 over 2 is equal to positive 3. And then, we have k is equal to negative e over 2, which is a negative positive 4 over 2. So, we will have negative, ine-negative mo yung 4, so magiging negative 4 over 2. So, negative 4 over 2, that is negative 2. And then for the r squared, d again is negative 6. So, negative 6 squared plus 4 squared minus 4 times, ang value ng f natin dito is 4. And then all over 4. So, we have now negative 6 squared is equal now to 36 plus 4 squared equals 16 minus 4 times 4 equals 16 all over 4. So, this time, we will have 36 plus 16. Ito, cancel na to. So, 36 over 4 is equal to 9. Okay? So, again, ang r squared natin, so, ang h, k natin is equal to 3, negative 2. And then, ang r squared is equal to 9. Then, r is equal to positive 3. So, therefore, so the standard form of the given equation is x minus 3 squared plus y plus 2 squared is equal to 9. So, these are now the final answers. Problem solving number 3. With the equation of the circle whose center is at 3, negative 5 and passing through negative 1, 2. Okay, so here gagamitin natin ang equation na quantity x minus h squared plus quantity y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So, pag sinabing passing through, passing through, ibig sabihin kapag magdodrawing tayo ng circle, yung negative 1, positive 2 ay nasa mismong circle. Again, yung point na negative 1 and positive 2 ay part ng point sa circle. So, halimbawa, nandito ang negative 1, positive 2. Okay. So, and then, ilalagay na natin ngayon yung center na 3, negative 5 dito sa equation. So, we have x minus, ang h natin is 3, and ang negative 5 natin yung k. So, x minus 3 squared plus quantity y minus negative 5. Okay, and then squared is equal to r squared. So, hindi natin malagyan ang r squared. Okay, so ibig sabihin, kailangan natin isolve yung radius. Kung meron tayong circle, halimbawa, nandito yung point natin na 3, negative 5. Okay, so dapat pakita natin yung distance ng dalawang points na yon. And para makuha yung distance yun, gagamitin natin yung tinatawag natin na distance formula. Okay? So, when we have the distance formula, makukuha natin yung radius. Radius is equal to the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1, okay, squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. Okay? So, pwedeng ito yung second point natin, tapos ito yung gawin nating first point. So, we have a square root of x sub 2 will be our 3 minus negative 1, and then squared plus y sub 2 is a negative 5 minus 2, and then squared. Okay, and then it is equal to the square root of 3 minus negative 1 squared ay magiging 4 squared. Okay, plus, okay, same signs tayo, negative 5 minus 2, so we will have negative 7 squared. So, it is equal to square root of 4 squared equals 16 plus negative 7 times negative 7 equals positive 49. So, it is equal to the square root of 16 plus 49 is equal to square root of 65. So, the radius here is square root of 65. Pero kapag kukunin natin yung r squared, okay, so equate natin. So, we have r is equal to square root of 65. And then, para magkaroon tayo ng squared, katulad na ng dito, okay, square both sides. Okay, squared. Okay, squared. So, dito magkakaroon tayo ng r squared is equal to, square natin yung square root of 65. Kapag in-square natin square root of 65, makakancel yung square root, ganun din yung exponent. So, matitira dito is 65. So, continuing this, okay, we have x minus 3 squared plus ito, y minus negative 5. Yung itong part na to ay magiging plus. So, ito magiging plus 5 and then squared is equal to, what is our r? Square root of 65. But when we have r squared, the answer here is 65. Plus quantity y plus 5 squared equals 65 is the final answer. Okay, next. Problem solving number 4. The diameter of the circle has its endpoints at negative 2, 1 and 4, negative 1. Find the equation of the circle. Again, to write the equation of the circle, we must have the center and radius. Okay? So, when we are going to plot negative 2 and 1 as the endpoints ng circle, as negative 2, 1 as endpoint of diameter, and we have 4, negative 1. So, connect those points, ayun yung magiging diameter natin. Okay? So, ito negative 2, 1, and dito naman is 4, negative 1. Okay? So, to get the center and the radius, yung center muna tayo. Okay? Center. Since kukunin natin yung nasa gitna ng diameter natin para makuha ang center, which is yung point na yun ay center na rin ng circle, gagamitin natin yung formula na midpoint formula. So, yung midpoint formula, okay, midpoint formula, that will be our center, okay, midpoint formula. We have x sub 1 plus x sub 2 over 2 and y sub 1 plus y sub 2 over 2. Okay, so substituting the values of x and y's dito sa ating midpoint formula, okay, so we have, ito na muna yung first point natin, yung negative 2, 1, then second yung 4, negative 1. So we have negative 2 plus 4 all over 2, 1 plus negative 1 all over 2. So this is equal now to our center na negative 2 plus 4 equals 2 over 2, 1 plus negative 1, that is 0 over 2. And simplifying further to get the center, we have 2 divided by 2, that is 1, and 0 divided by 2, that is 0. Therefore, the center of the circle is at 1, 0. So, nakuha na natin yung center. Kukunin naman natin yung radius. And to get the radius, ay kukunin natin yung distance between the center and one point ng diameter. Okay, so pwede natin kunin ang 1, 0 and yung 4, negative 1. Again, to get the radius, okay, para makuha natin yung distance, gagamitin natin yung distance formula. So, R now is equal to the square root of quantity x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. Okay, so we have square root of x sub 2 natin. Pwedeng ito yung second point, tas ito yung first point natin na nasa center. So we have 4 minus 1 squared plus second point natin para kay y is a negative 1 minus 0 squared. So it is equal to the square root of 4 minus 1, we have 3 squared plus negative 1 minus 0, it is still negative 1 squared. So we have square root of 3 squared equals 9 plus negative 1 times negative 1 equals positive 10. Ay, negative 1 times negative 1 equals positive 1. So therefore, simplifying further, we will have 9 plus 10 equals square root of 10. So yung square root of 10 na yan, that will be the value of our radius. But since we are looking for the standard form, since we are looking for the equation of circle, dapat nakaganitong forma siya. Quantity x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. Okay, mula dun sa ating r equals square root of 10, okay, so kapag kukunin natin yung r squared, ang magiging value niya is, square mo lang square root of 10. Okay, so ibig sabihin, dalawang square root of 10, i-multiply natin. Square root of 10 times square root of 10, that is square root of 100. Pag square root of 100, that is 10. Okay, so magiging standard form, okay, standard form of equation ng ating circle ngayon ay, okay, standard form ng equation is quantity x minus h. Anong h natin? 1. Okay, minus 1, then squared, then plus y minus 0 squared is equal to, what is r squared? Ang r squared natin ay 10. So that is 10. Simplifying this, we will have x minus 1 then squared plus y minus 0 squared, that is y squared, is equal to 10. So this equation now is the final answer. Problem solving number 5. Verify whether each point is on quantity x plus 5 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 4. Okay, we are going to determine if the given points ay kasama mismo sa figure ng circle doon sa ating Cartesian coordinate plane. So, kapag nag-drawing tayo ng circle, halimbawa lang to So, halimbawa yung mga points na nakalagay sa Cartesian, yun dapat yung nasa given natin. So, kapag hindi yan nag-equal doon sa ating equation, ibig sabihin hindi siya part ng circle. Okay, for example, if we have point A, 4, 2, we are going to substitute it to the given equation. So, we have x plus 5 squared plus y minus 2 squared is equal to 4. And then, what is the value of x? Sa point A. So, we have 4 plus 5 squared plus y natin is 2. Then, minus 2 squared is equal to 4. So, 4 plus 5, that is a 9 squared plus 2 minus 2 is equal to 0 squared equals 4. Okay, so 9 squared is equal to 81 plus 0 equals 4. So 81 is equal to 4. Okay, so since they are not equal, ibig sabihin, okay, so this means that 4, 2 is not on the circle quantity x plus 5 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 4. Okay, not on the circle. Okay, next, let us try letter B. Okay, letter B. Or point B, negative 2, 0. So, we have x plus 5 squared plus y minus 2 squared is equal to 4. Substituting the values of x is equal to negative 2 plus 5 squared, y is 0, minus 2 squared is equal to 4. So, negative 2 plus 5 equals 3, then squared plus 0 minus negative 2, that is a negative 2 squared is equal to 4. 3 squared equals 9 plus negative 2 times negative 2 equals 4. Then it is equal to 4. 9 plus 4 equals 13. Hi, eraser. Okay. 9 plus 4 equals 13. Then equals 4. Obviously, 13 is not equal to 4. So, therefore, negative 2, 0 is not on the circle. Okay, yung circle na tinutukoy natin dyan ay mula dun sa ating equation. Okay, last, point C, negative 3, 2. Okay, so substituting again those x and y dun sa ating equation, x plus 5 squared plus y minus 2 squared is equal to 4. Then, ang x natin is negative 3 plus 5 squared plus 2 minus 2 squared is equal to 4. Negative 3 plus 5 is equal to 2 squared plus 2 minus 2 is equal to 0, then squared is equal to 4. So 2 squared is equal to 4 plus 0 is equal to 4. So 4 plus 0 is equal to 4. Then it is equal to 4. So ibig sabihin, itong negative 3, 2, okay, ay part ng circle or nasa mismong circle. So therefore, point C, negative 3, 2, is on the circle quantity x plus 5 squared plus y minus 2 squared is equal to 4. Okay? Problem solving number 6. Determine whether the points are on, inside, or outside the circle. Okay, so recall natin ang standard form. Okay, we have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. Okay, so this we are going to determine if the given point dito sa given natin ay meron tayong point D at point M, kung ito bang mga points na ito ay mismong nasa circle, inside or outside the circle. Okay, so when we have the standard form, kapag ang left side na ito, okay, is greater than the r squared, therefore, yung point natin is outside the circle. Okay? Outside the circle. Meaning, yung point natin ay hindi nasa loob ng circle. So, if we have less than r squared dito sa left side ng equation, therefore, yung given point natin ay nasa loob ng circle or inside the circle. Okay, and then last, if the left side, yung value niyan, ay parehas lang doon sa r squared or both sides are equal, therefore, the point is on the circle. Sabihin, part ng circle, yung given point natin. So, for us to understand, let us have A with point D 1, negative 2 with the circle of quantity x plus 1 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 19. Let us substitute the values of x and y to the given equation of the circle. So, we will have quantity, ang value ng x natin is 1 plus 1 and then squared is plus quantity y is negative 2 minus 2 squared is equal to 19. Okay, and then simplifying further, we have 1 plus 1 equals 2 squared plus negative 2 minus 2 equals negative 4 squared equals 19. 2 squared equals 4 plus negative 4 times negative 4 equals positive 16 equals 19. 4 plus 16 equals 20 equals 19. Obviously, 20 is not equal to 19, but 20 is greater than the r squared, which is 19. Therefore, yung point natin na 1, negative 2 is outside the circle. Okay? So, therefore, point D, 1, negative 2 is outside the circle. Next, letter B. How about if we have point M, 6, negative 3, with a circle of quantity x plus 5 squared plus quantity y minus 2 squared equals 71. And we are going to determine if this point is on, inside, or outside the circle. And to have this, again, substitute the value of x and y to the given equation. So we will have x is 6 plus 5 squared plus y is negative 3 minus 2 squared is equal to 71. Simplifying further, we have 6 plus 5 equals 30 squared plus negative 3 minus 2 is equal to negative 5 squared is equal to 71. 30 squared equals 900 plus negative 5 squared is equal to 25 is equal to 71. 100 900 plus 25 is equal to 925 is equal to 71. Obviously, 925 is not equal to 71. Okay, but 925 is greater than 71. So, if it is greater than the r squared, therefore, yung given point natin na m, which is 6 comma negative 3, is also outside the circle. Okay, therefore, point m, 6 comma negative 3, is outside the given circle. If we have a point H as 9 and negative 3, we will check if it is on, inside, or outside the circle of this equation. So again, substitute the value of x, which is 9 minus 8, then squared, plus y is negative 3 plus 2 squared is equal to 26. And then simplifying further, we have 9 minus 8 equals 1 squared plus negative 3 plus 1, negative 3 plus 2 equals negative 1 squared equals 26. Okay, so 1 squared equals 1 plus negative 1 plus negative 1 times negative 1, that is still 1. And then equals 26. So 1 plus 1, okay, is equal to 2 equals 26. Obviously, 2 is not equal to 26. Okay, but 2 is less than 26. If 2 is less than the r squared, therefore, point H is inside the circle. Is inside the circle. Okay. So last, if we have point D, negative 3 comma 2, and we have a circle of quantity x plus 1 squared plus quantity y minus 3 squared equals 5. So again, substitute the value of x, which is negative 3 plus 1 squared, and then plus 2 minus 3 squared equals 5. Simplifying further, if we have negative 3 plus 1 equals negative 2, then squared, plus 2 minus 3 is equal to negative 1 squared equals 5. Okay, so negative 2 squared, that is positive 4, plus negative 1 squared equals 1 equals 5. Okay, so we have 4 plus 1 equals 5 equals 5. So then, we have same sign. So we have same 5 on both sides of the equation. Therefore, okay, so point D, negative 3, comma 2 is on the point, is on the circle of this equation.